Hello and welcome to Laker Connections here on WTOP 10. Brandon Nash here alongside Jake Vanderbroek, bringing you this week's recap in Oswego State sports. Jake, let's start off the show with some women's volleyball.
All right, let's do it, Brandon. The Oswego State volleyball team had a heartbreaking loss to Fredonia in 5 sets. 3 Lakers were able to record double-doubles in the contest. Julia Floor had 22 assists and 14 digs. Mara Lignon-Bosman had 10 kills, 11 digs, and Melissa Lucier finished with 11 kills and 10 digs in the contest.
Trying to come back from that tough loss, the Lakers would take on the New Paltz Hawks. Both teams were kill-heavy throughout the match and saw a combined 5 players scoring double-digit kills, including O'Flaherty with 14 and 5 with 10. However, costly errors would prove to be the downfall to Oswego as they dropped the match 3-1.
After losing the New Paltz, the Lakers were able to pour it on to Plattsburgh as they defeated the Cardinals 3-0. Junior Shaw O'Flaherty led Oswego with 14 kills and 14 digs, while Lauren Fye had 10 kills and 3 blocks. Senior Allison Berger had 20 assists, while outside hitters Ariana Wright and Melissa Lucier each had 8 kills.
After going 1-2 in another SUNYAC tournament, the women now sit at 2-4 in the SUNYACs. Although Coach J.J. O'Connell says any team can win on any given day, he still believes his team has a shot at winning the conference title despite their latest struggles.
I think we're one of the 5 best teams in the conference, and I think there's other good teams, but if we play our best, I think we can win it actually, not even get in. I think we can win it. If you don't bring your A game, anybody can beat you, as evidenced by Potsdam, where they've been traditionally one of the bottom teams, and we didn't bring our A game, and they snuck up and got us.
All right, so Brandon, what do you think of J.J. O'Connell's comments? Do they have what it takes to not only make the playoffs, but be a championship contender?
I really think they can.
Really?
I think, and you're not going to see it from this weekend, but I feel like the team plays very well together. I feel like they talk, they communicate, and when they get on that side, when they have everyone playing well, including some of the bench players, Ariana Wright coming out, Legnan Bosman coming out, when you have all those players that are playing well, that rack up a few kills at crucial moments, they can really win games. And I feel like, especially with the height that they have, the play up front and the kill ability, they're a good team. They just need to realize that SUNYACs, as well as you're playing in the SUNYACs, you have to, as bad as you're playing in the SUNYACs, you have to realize how well you're doing outside of the conference and apply that to these games.
But you know what matters is just SUNYAC conference, Brandon. It's not just about the non-conference game. It's more importantly the SUNYAC games. And, you know, with the loss of Fredonia and the loss to New Paltz, you know, this was just a completely different team. Non-conference play, they're a great team. You know, they're facing weaker opponents. Let's be real. There are a bunch of teams that are just under 500. But when you look at these teams are just a tad above 500 or right at the 500 mark. And these are games that you got to win if you're Oswego. And they just haven't been doing it. But the Plattsburgh, yeah, good win for them. But Plattsburgh's been struggling all season, Brandon.
And you definitely have to look at. J.J. O'Connell said that they are a top 5 team, and they have 3 games left. If so, they'd be 5-4, which would put them in the conference, which would technically put them right at that number 5 spot. So it does make sense. But the next 3 games that they have in a week and a half are crucial. First off in the SUNYACs, but also just to the rest of their season, because you need those wins. And like I said, they have to win out to get into the SUNYACs, which I think they have a chance. But they're going to have to communicate. They're going to have to play the way that they play outside of the conference. Just realize that you have to win these games.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you with that. And they got to pour it on. And one thing I'm going to point out is that, you know, when we looked at J.J. O'Connell's interview, you know, he said that he was very confident with the team. You know, I get that. You know, you're telling the girls that they're very confident as well, but I feel like that is just putting a lot more pressure on them. And we saw that in SUNYAC play as they lost to Fredonia and they lost to New Paltz. You know, when they go to SUNYAC pool play, they usually go with finish the weekend just going 1-2, and that was the case this time. So really, Brent, if they want to be a really good playoff team and make it the SUNYAC to the championship, they got to really play well, Brandon.
We can only hope right now. But, Jake, when we come back, we are going to switch it over to the turf for men's and women's soccer, as well as women's field hockey. Don't go away. You're watching Laker Connections here on WTOP 10.
I'm Anthony Citron, and for one view a day, you can help producers at WTOP get the recognition they deserve for their work. For just 30 minutes a day, you can help these students make sure their work does not go unnoticed. Please, click the link below and help these students get the recognition they deserve. All it takes is one view a day.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home walk restaurant. Need a review?
No. He's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
Hello and welcome back to Laker Connections here on WTOP 10. Students are recognized every week by the Oswego Athletics Department as Athletes of the Week. This week's awards go to Samantha Spence of women's tennis and Anthony Paris of men's soccer. Spence went 4-0 in fifth singles and third doubles as she took a pair of victories over Cortland and Utica College. Now to Anthony Paris, the junior transfer out of Monroe Community College, scored the only goal in the 1-0 win over Potsdam. The Rochester native now has 10 goals and 22 points in his collegiate career. Now it's time to see what has been going on at the turf.
Still looking for their first SUNYAC win of the season, the Cardinals would... Still looking for their first SUNYAC win of the season, Cardinals would take on Oswego. A goal right there in the first at the 41st minute from a corner kick gives Plattsburgh the 1-0 lead. However, Oswego able to come back and rifle the shot through as Ryan Young rifled the shot in the 52nd minute. But the Cardinals would come back 12 minutes later to take the lead after a redirection. The Lakers would only shoot once more on goal after that and drop the game against the Cardinals 2-1.
After a tough loss to Plattsburgh, the Lakers were able to bounce back to defeat Potsdam 1-0. In the 4th minute, on the counterattack, Jack Van Pelt was able to cross it to Anthony Paris for the easy finish to put the Lakers up early, which was the only offense they needed throughout the contest. The Lakers owned a 19-7 advantage in shot attempts in that one.
Sophomore Brian Terra made 5 saves in his 4th career.
Sophomore Brian Terra made 5 saves in his 4th career shutout and 2nd of the season. My apologies.
And the women's soccer team also took on Plattsburgh, looking to make moves in playoff contention. The teams would be tied up at 0 going into the 70th minute, but in the 72nd minute, the Cardinals jumped ahead. Only a minute later, the Cardinals scored again to extend their lead to 2. Lindsey Ross scored her first of the season in the 82nd minute to cut the Plattsburgh lead in half, but the Cardinals would score the insurance goal, and the Cardinals would take the game at 3-1.
After a loss to their rival Plattsburgh, the Lakers couldn't keep up with Potsdam's counterattack as the Lakers lost 3-1 last Saturday. Mackenzie Schaffner would tally the Lakers' lone goal at 39:50 as she was able to find a Chloe Lonergan pass and send it from the left side of the right of the goalie. Emma Allen recorded a career high of 16 goals in the contest.
After going 140 minutes without a goal, the field hockey team would travel to New Paltz to take on the Hawks. The offensive woes would continue for Oswego as they only got 2 shots on goal. The Hawks used steady offense, having 28 total shots, including 15 on goal. The Lakers were able to hold off the Hawks for the first half, but the Hawks would score in the 37th, 51st, and 68th minute to win the game 3-0. This game was the 3rd straight where the Lakers did not score a goal.
Make it 210 minutes. Oswego would return to action last Saturday and didn't score a goal in the 5-0 loss to Oneonta. Lakers were only able to tally up 3 shots on goal in the contest. Joanna Christmas stopped a total of 19 shots at the net. With the loss, the Lakers now eliminated from postseason contention. Captain Katie Reynolds. Katie, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
All right, so let's start off with the team. You guys were off to a good start in SUNYAC play, beating Brockport by a score of 4-3. You scored all the goals in the contest, but then you dropped your last 4 straight in conference play, scoring no goals in any of the contests. What do you think has been the issue recently?
We've definitely started playing higher, like intense teams with better skill, and I think we're definitely seeing a misconnection between our defense, midfield, and forward. We're not connecting as well. I think in our last game against Oneonta, we kind of figured it out a little bit more, and we're able to like piece it together and have more offensive play. And I think that's what we need to continue doing, is just making the connections between defense, getting out to midfield, and the forwards have to be ready for the big ball. And that's what we're hoping to do as the season continues.
A work in process indeed. Now, switching over to you, you lead the team in the scoring department with 10 goals on the season. Take me through your approach game by game.
I mean, there's no like strategic way of doing it. I mean, when there are balls in front of the cage, I'm gonna put the ball in. I mean, I'm aggressive and I play intense like the whole game. So I know like those little flimsy passes are my opportunity to really shine and just like pick up the scraps and put it in. Like nothing, like play every ball. It's kind of how I have my mentality set. Like every ball is playable, put it in the back of the cage, and once I hear the back, then I can stop.
Now, so you guys have 5 games left to go on the season. Have you and your team accomplished any of the season objectives so far, or is that still a work in progress?
Definitely making playoffs was one of our objectives, and we didn't accomplish that, but we're still hoping for a winning season, and we still have a chance of doing that. So we're hoping to get, I would like to say, all the wins left, so 5 more wins. But.
Yeah. Now, senior day is this Saturday for you, Katie, as you're going to be going off in the real world in the spring. Is this going to be a game of emotions for you, or are you just going to take it just like any other game?
I'm definitely one that puts my emotions behind me and just kind of focus on the game aspect. It's definitely going to be sad. Maybe my last game will hit me more than senior night. I mean, not even playing-wise. I mean, you're here for 4 years. I was here for 3, but like the team is really like my family. I have connections with every girl on the team, so leaving them is like leaving a part of me behind, which is kind of emotional for me, but I'm excited to like adventure out.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, your body just can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
And
I'm tired.
You just had enough. Katie, it was a pleasure having you on the show here. Thank you so much for...
Great insight from Katie Reynolds, who I believe the Lakers will surely miss next season. When we come back, Hockey Talk will continue, except this time, it's all about ice hockey. Stick around to find out what the teams had to say in their first media interviews of the season. You're watching Laker Connections.
Everybody can make something, because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
I wouldn't use this one.
He helps me with my decision making.
Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
And then she was like, yeah, and I was like, no. And then she was like, yeah, and I was like, yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, what?
Ryan just texted me.
Oh my God, what did he say?
Netflix and chill?
Netflix and chill, that's like so last year. It's all about WTOP movies on demand and chill.
You are so right.
Yo, bro, what's wrong?
Yo, bro, my girl left me, bro.
But why?
Because I don't watch WTOP 10 movies on demand.
Welcome back to Laker Connections, at your source for all things Oswego sports. Hockey Night in Oswego is just 10 days away. We had the opportunity to attend their Media Day press conference where Captain Devin Campbell discussed how the team will move forward after a disappointing end to last season.
Happened in those 3 games. I thought we didn't play too bad or anything, but we just couldn't seem to score, and stuff like that is going to happen during the season. And I think the biggest thing that we can do is turn the page and focus on this year's team. And I think this year's team, we have a ton of talent. And with that, with these guys as well, it's our job to kind of mold them and make us a team, make us work hard here. And
yeah, so now while we saw that from Campbell, what's your take on that?
I definitely agree. You have to move forward. And I remember when I used to play sports, my dad told me, and a lot of coaches said, you have to play with amnesia.
Yeah.
Anytime you make a mistake, anytime things don't go your way, you forget about it, you move on. That's exactly the mindset that they need this season. Forget about those last few games where you couldn't score on offense and you couldn't really help Riche out, and you have to realize that now is the 2018-2019 season. You have no tie besides some players coming back with the same heart and determination they had in the beginning of the season, but it has to run through all the way.
Yeah, and it is tough, but sometimes it just really gets to your head.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we see it from the pros when it's like a game winner kick just misses an easy field goal, and then next thing you know, they're out of the playoffs, and it just gets really frustrating. But like you said, Brandon, you have to move forward from it. It can't get into your head because it's more mental before physical. So I agree with you, Brandon. But now, while David Riche had arguably one of the best seasons for a goalie in the SUNYAC last season, Coach Ed Gosick was not committal about whether there would be a goalie by committee or a true #1 starter.
We're confident that his play from last year will carry over. That's not to put pressure on him, and that consistent play will be there. But we've also learned to be cautiously optimistic and not overstate things or put pressure on anyone that's not necessary.
I definitely agree, at least in kind of thinking of starters. But Jake, what is your really take on not choosing a goalie at this point, 10 days away?
I mean, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, Coach Ed Gosick wants to see what both of these goalies can do, what they're capable of. And, the one thing I didn't agree with, not pressure or whatever, there's a ton of pressure, for goodness sakes. It's 2 goalies fighting for a position. There's always pressure. When you go back to, like, Little League baseball, you got, who's going to get that first base position or whatever. You got to work your tail off to fight for that position, and it's like tryouts as well. So that's the one thing I don't agree with. But it's okay to be to not have a goalie, like a starting goalie, because hey, maybe we're going to be seeing a lot of action from both of them this season. Maybe that's going to be their secret formula as they're heading into conference play. So we don't know yet, Brandon.
I do agree with that. However, I think that Riche's play should have won him a starting gig.
Okay.
I think that bringing him in last year, you knew what his intentions were. You knew that they kind of started between Split Hansen and then going with Riche. But as soon as Riche won it in the end, that was his starting position. I don't think that a season should change it. I do believe that Riche won it after his play last year. But a goalie could always use help from his defenseman, and that is exactly what the Oswego State goalies got last season. The team set a school record for fewest amount of goals allowed in a season. However, the defenseman only contributed 3 goals on the offensive side. Campbell acknowledged a desire to get more of a push from the back ends.
Maybe we didn't get a lot of offense from the blue line. We also didn't really give up a whole lot either, and so I think that with that being said, though, you are right. We definitely need more of a push from the back end. I think last year was, it was a good learning experience for a lot of young guys. I know Carter Allen and Max Novick, and there's a lot of new pieces coming in that are having to play bigger roles, and maybe you have to focus more on the defensive side of things first before you can open up offensively.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the defensemen, they're going to need to step it up, Brandon. True point there made by Campbell there, of course. But what do you think about that?
I definitely agree. You have those big defensemen, and I know that they have a few smaller defensemen as well. They have a very, you have Campbell at 6'4", and you have, different defensemen at something like the 5'10", 5'9". So you want to get those bigger guys up front trying to create havoc in front of the net, but then you also want to get some of the smaller defensemen at the back just ripping shots.
Yeah, I was going to say, with the power plays, when we see a bunch of power play opportunities, we didn't really see that from a defenseman. It was just more of just passing around, and, they're just going to give it more to their left wing and right wings to get those one-times. But what I would like to see this season from this hockey team, get the defensemen going. Like, back when Water Street, when we were sophomore and you were a freshman, Water Street was just slap shot after slap shot. We need to see that again from this Oswego team, and that's where all the pressure lies on. Defensemen, just slap shot after slap shot, because it's easy opportunities when you have three people. You got your center, your two wings to fight for the rebound and ability to cash it in. And I think that's going to be the case, what Ed Gosick is going to do early with this team as far as defense stepping up.
Hopefully the defense can step up, but when we come back, it'll be time for our Laker Showdown. Stay tuned as we debate the burning questions surrounding Oswego sports.
And then she was like, yeah, and I was like, no. And then she was like, yeah, and I was like, yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, what?
Ryan just texted me.
Oh my god, what did he say?
Netflix and chill?
Netflix and chill, that's like so last year. It's all about WTOP movies on demand and chill.
You are so right.
Yo, bro, what's wrong?
Yo, bro. My girl left me, bro.
But why?
Because I don't watch WTOP 10 movies on demand.
This new dad is picturing a tree house in the sky, but he's ignoring the instructions. Good luck, big guy. His kids know that he's building without a clue. Never been so good with nails and glue. Now we're trapped inside a box. I hope mom knows what to do. Mom! See, you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
Hey, it's Ava, and this is Tess from Do Your Selfie, where we recreate the hottest looks from today's biggest music videos.
After cleaning out our closet, we have a lot of clothes we don't wear anymore.
Like this old pile of t-shirts.
It's not garbage, it's actually a new rug.
And to make it, all you need to do is cut, tie, and glue.
Cut the t-shirt into strips.
Tie the strips into knots.
And glue the knots to the bath mat. I love it. Give your garbage another life.
And recycle.
Hello and welcome back. If you're new to the show, you may not know what time it is. Those returning viewers know it's time for a Laker Showdown.
All right, so taking a look at women's soccer, can the Lakers finish the season with a winning record?
All right, so
that's the first debate question.
I guess I'm starting it off here.
You are.
All right, I'm gonna say no. And the main thing is they have 6 games left against Buff State, Canton, Fredonia, Brockport, Hamilton, and Geneseo. Now, the main thing that I want to look out here is Geneseo is a most likely loss, and then Buff State and Canton is a most likely win. So there's 6-6 with those 3 other games between Fredonia, Brockport, and Hamilton. I think Hamilton is a win, but Fredonia and Brockport I see as a loss. So unfortunately, I see them 1 game short of finishing at that 500 record.
Oh, so you know what, Brandon? I'm going to say yes because, I have a lot of confidence with this Oswego team. I think they're at the point where, they've been losing a few games that they shouldn't have, and I'm confident with Brian McCrane. He's going to tell his ladies, we got to start stepping it up. I think they're going to take care of Buff State. I don't think they're going to take care of Fredonia, and then they're just going to keep grinding all the way down to the finish line. A win against Canton, a win against B-Port at home. Geneseo, I take that back. Geneseo, they're 6-0 in the conference. I'm going to say no to that one. My bad on that. But then Hamilton, a non-conference play to close out the regular season for this team. I am going to say yes. So to me, Brandon.
So we're looking at the differences between Fredonia and Brockport. I feel like they're going to lose both of those. And then, like I said, the other ones, I feel they're going to be one game short, unfortunately.
Oh. Oof. All right, so.
What are we looking at?
Yeah, what are we looking at? You know what? I'm just gonna give myself the point. Just give me the 1-0 lead already. Let's just do that. But let's go to let's swing it over to the men's side. Will this men's team win both games this weekend? Just keep in mind they play Buff State on Friday and Fredonia on Saturday.
All right. Again, I hate to be that devil's advocate and go against the Oswego Sports, but unfortunately, I'm going to say no. I had Buff State pretty much pinned at a loss. They've only allowed 2 goals once, and other than that, they've allowed either 1 or 0 goals. Buff State plays very well, and for a team that's struggling on offense like Oswego, Buff State is a definite win. Now with Fredonia, very similar. 4-6-1 is Oswego to 4-7-1 is Fredonia. And both teams are 1-4 in the conference. However, the one thing is going to be the penalties. Right. Oswego leads 21-8 in yellow cards and red cards combined. So I think Oswego is going to play too aggressive, too strong, and they're going to lose that game against Fredonia.
So you know what? I'm going to say yes. Why? I like their counterattack. You know, Dan Key is going to be switching a little bit. They're going to be switching it up a little bit offensively. We saw in the game against Potsdam, you know, after the tough loss to Plattsburgh, you know, on Alumni Weekend, you got to come away with a win. And, you know, you're still looking for your first SUNYAC win. So they were able to bounce on the counterattack, and, you know, Anthony Paris had that goal for that 1-0 win. And then, you know, this Fredonia team, they've only had 7 goals in 12 games. It's going to be crappy offenses, but hey, I think Oswego can take them.
I got to give that one to Jake again now that my voice has been restored. I talked to Kane earlier today. He's feeling confident. The team's looking very confident.
Ooh. All right. So last question.
Last question of the day. Last question of the night, actually. Does the Oswego volleyball team only host tournaments that they're easily able to win?
All right, Jake, how about you start? I started the last 2.
Oh, absolutely. Come on. You know, when in the beginning of the season, you know, these teams, well, in the past and this season, it's all non-conference play. You know, you had St. Lawrence, and then you had Canton, and it's like, these are easy 1, 2, 3 games. And Duville College, do you remember them? Oh, what? Yeah. You know, we're just going to play an easy 3 sets. It's going to be 45 minutes throughout the whole match. Oh, yeah, Duville. How many points total did they have? Like 25?
All right.
They played terrible.
Duville,
then non-conference.
Yes, they're 1-19, all right? All right, but look, they're hosting this week. They're 3-1 in invitationals, and they're 5-2 last year in invitationals. They have 50% good teams and 50% bad teams. They at least make it enjoyable to watch, and a lot of their sets in those invitationals go to 4 sets, go to 5. And
do you consider a match in 4 sets entertaining? I would say just 5, not 4, in my opinion.
If the other team can win 1 point, then it's made an enjoyable game. And that is why when you see games going to 4 and they're playing aggressive like in these games, they're not just hosting them. And again, if you look at SUNYAC pool play, they can't decide who plays where. It's just the SUNYAC plays, and it happens in Oswego.
All right, I got to cut you guys off. Time limit's done. I got to give that one to Brandon.
All right.
Non-conference doesn't really make a huge difference, and honestly, this weekend they're going to have a tough time in the Oswego State quad.
All right.
Well, so 2-1, but Jake got the overall, but Brandon got the last one. That's the last one that counts.
Thanks to all that tuned in tonight. Make sure you follow our Twitter at LCWTOP10, and tune in next week, same day, same time. Have a great night.